Welcome to Built Local, the show where we spotlight the businesses, entrepreneurs, and hardworking people that help keep our communities growing and thriving. I'm James Beejan, owner of J. Beejan and Associates Insurance. We bring you real conversations with local business owners, community leaders, skilled trades professionals, and the people behind the brands that make Michigan special. Now let's get into today's episode of Built Local. All right, today we've got a special guest from Anything Construction, Mr. Justin Burch. Justin, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on. Justin, tell us a little bit about Anything Construction. What inspired you to get into the remodeling construction industry?
My dad, my uncles, I grew up in that era where, everyone built things. Everyone, mended all the man stuff, building of homes and
Sure.
doing stuff around the house and upgrades. And so I was just kind of forced into it. It's one of those things where they were like, it's time to get up, it's time to go to work.
Let's go. Time to get
go.
at it.
So we would just build stuff, it didn't matter what it was, if it had to be done, we did it. If we needed a shed, we built it.
We built it.
We didn't call no one, we built it.
It's one of the things that I always wish. My dad was never that guy. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, he's a great guy. He just was never
Yeah.
that guy. So
Yeah.
I pay guys like you to come do my stuff.
Not a problem.
So tell us, at Anything Construction, you do everything from kitchens and bathroom remodels to decks, additions, insurance work. What projects are your favorites and why?
I don't think I have a specific favorite because each one, helps out an individual in some sort of way and makes them feel like they have accomplished something. So I don't have a specific, as long as, if you're doing any upgrades to your home or even repairs, I guess my favorite would just be the people knowing that they're happy when we're done.
Yeah.
No stress. At least we try, anyways.
Yeah.
And just seeing them feel accomplished in life. That's my favorite. I'd say if I had to pick something.
That makes sense.
I have my specific trades that I do like
Yeah.
more than the other. Probably the ones that don't take as much brain.
Right.
And I can just do my thing through the day. But they're all fun. It's all a learning curve. We're always progressing in life, especially with building. We've came a long ways in materials and just how we do things versus
Different
a decade
tooling
to
and,
it's
deck
just
and-
it's such a different world
I
we live
bet.
in from when I started to now, but the progression just keeps me really driven to
makes
do
sense.
it, and it's enjoyable. So
Well, and a lot of contractors I've talked to that are passionate like yourself, they like creating things and then seeing it done and say to themselves, well, I did that.
Yeah.
Or I had one contractor before tell me, James, I drive around, town with my boy and I'd say, see that deck right there, son? I did that.
Yeah.
So I get that
Yeah.
feeling from you as well, and the passion you put into your work. Tell us, what are the biggest mistakes homeowners make before starting a renovation project?
overthinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of overthinking. They put, as hard as it is, because we all have a budget. Doesn't matter what our budget is. All of our budgets are different.
Right.
Some are low, some are high.
Right.
But they just overthink the money portion. They overthink of how we're going to do this, how we're going to make it work.
Right.
In life, you just need to kind of go with the flow, one thing at a time, and just be confident in your contractor.
Sure.
Is the biggest thing.
I agree.
And doing your due diligence as a homeowner,
Right.
Checking in on how their work is,
Right.
Reviews, how long they've done it, the reviews, the whole 9 yards.
Sure.
So that would be.
It makes sense. Michigan homes can present unique challenges, especially older homes.
Yeah.
What are some common issues you run into across Oakland County?
In remodeling, all of them.
You name it, huh?
It's all there.
I know some of those older homes, you got the plaster.
Yeah, I'd have to say it'd be a code thing, so
Yeah.
when you get in, especially, a lot of times when you remodel a home, it's older, it's outdated.
Yeah.
And our
reason
codes
you're
are
remodeling.
always changing year to year, city to city, state to state.
You got to stay up on it,
So you have to stay on top of it, so a lot of times, I would just have to say it would be, It's usually minor things, electrical or plumbing.
Yeah.
So it's usually when you open something, you find out that something just isn't going to work when we go through inspection,
Yeah.
or when the inspector comes out the first time. So those would be the two things that I would say
Makes sense.
usually becomes an issue.
Yeah.
But they're usually relatively not horrible issues to fix.
That makes sense. Yeah, I live in a home, 1901, actually.
Okay, yep.
And awesome features, newer features too, with some of the older stuff. But like you said, I look downstairs in the basement, I see this old galvanized pipe.
Yeah.
Like, good luck tearing that thing up and
Yeah.
whatever you got to do with it.
Yeah.
But, and like you said, with the new materials and the trends that you see and the new products, it's amazing that you see something as old as that wrought iron, and then you see newer products that are
Yeah.
like just so innovative. And
Yeah.
So I see that. What trends are you seeing right now in kitchen and bathroom modeling?
I'd say the biggest trends, I love when people do kind of natural things and not off the wall, because we all have, and it's not that they're bad ideas.
Yeah.
Because we all have our own great ideas.
Yeah.
We're all great in our own ways. It doesn't mean one's better than the other.
Yeah.
Just some might not like it versus the other.
Right.
The biggest thing is just in a remodeling is trying to keep it basic as possible, neutral as possible,
Yeah.
because your home is always an investment. We all know most of the time, we've all lived in 2 or 3 homes in our life. And we typically don't get to that ending, that forever home till quite a ways in
Right
our
down the
life. So my goal is to always do something and have a resale thought
Value,
process
yeah,
in it.
makes sense.
Because a home is the biggest investment you will ever make in your life. You hear people, a lot of other things. Oh, I took my only $100,000 to open this company, and yes, those are big steps as well. But a home is like, it's your safe haven. It's
your place.
everything. It's your peace of mind. So to me, a home is your biggest investment.
That makes sense.
So I always try to help people keeping it neutral, based on a resale value.
Well, I had an interesting conversation actually yesterday with a contractor, and we talked about a little bit before the show about like how you're kind of the jack of all trades. Your company handles multiple trades in the house. How does that make the remodeling process easier for the homeowner?
Way easier. Well, the problem is, no one wants to deal with a lot of people, right? We want simple. Simplicity is the biggest thing. And when it comes to remodeling, there's really nothing simplicity about it. It's chaotic.
Yeah, loud,
There's dust,
tools are
it's
going
loud. It's everything that you don't want to be a part of,
Sure.
especially going to work all day and then coming home.
Yeah.
So that, is a huge thing. I'd say that would be, the biggest point of it.
Well, the other thing I found interesting that, another gentleman was talking about recently was because the housing is at a premium, meaning we don't have enough houses for enough people, you're seeing family members kind of moving in together, which brings me to the additions, right?
We do a lot based off of that over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
A lot. Everyone is, friends or family or whatever,
Right.
Or even a new build on a bigger piece of property.
Yeah. I know that's a big segment
thing.
right
So,
now.
Yeah, we definitely don't have the market that we need, per people that we have
Right.
in our states. It's went way down. I think a lot of that has to do with, all the big investors kind of buying up homes. And once we got into the Airbnbs and, all the rental, once the market crashed, a lot of those people bought up all those properties
Right, on the
for
cheap and needed
investments,
remodels.
cheap, and did remodels and turned them into Airbnbs. And I think we're planing down from that now.
Yeah.
It's starting to look better than it was 2 years ago for
Sure.
sure, because 2 years ago was absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
I know a few different realtors that, they were like, this is not good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've definitely came down from that. It has helped the remodeling industry portion. As selfish as I love to be sometimes, everyone needs to, make money, and we need to make a living.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm glad that it's, on its trend back down.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping at some point we get back to where we kind of were with
Sure.
the
Sure. A little
housing
happy
market.
medium ground.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, which adds to, for someone considering a remodel, what projects typically deliver the biggest return on investment? I'm going to think kitchens
The
and bathrooms.
simplest ones.
Okay.
The in and outs. Those
Yeah.
are the. We have a day rate that we charge. If someone calls me and they just have a small project.
Yeah, like a little handyman thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as much as I want to charge, enough to cover costs and to make decent money, I also know a lot of times when people are doing small projects, they might not have the money to do the larger project, or it's just repair to make something work for them. So we do try to do, like a day rate. But to be
Nice
honest
option.
with you, if I did that day rate 5 days a week, most of the time it would equal out more than not.
Yeah, I bet. No, I bet you're right.
Day rates would be probably, I'd say the best ones.
Okay.
Or just the smaller projects, the simpler ones.
Small bathroom.
Well, here's the problem. The smaller you get, the harder it gets.
Tight corners,
It's
right?
tight quarters. You're always waiting for something to dry. You make one cut, and you're like, okay, that's done. And I got to turn around,
Right.
and you got to get one set of tools out for one project.
Yeah.
You get a couple things done, and then you're like, okay, I can't do any more of this. And then you get another set of tools out, and so next thing you know, at the end of the day, you're just chaotic. There's tools everywhere.
Sure.
So sometimes the smaller ones are not where it's at.
Makes sense.
It gets pretty difficult. But I love the task. That's what keeps me doing what I do. That's, I'm not, a one thing kind of a guy. I love the multitasking. And when you have a company that multitasks or does multiple trades, I just feel it flows better because you know
sense.
what goes into the next step.
That's right.
You know what you need to do to end it for the next guy. There's lots of times, I do work for a couple different, builders here and there, just when we get slow or something
Yeah.
in the winter months. Then we'll go in and I'm like, how do I start? You should have not got to that point,
Right. Right.
So yeah, that's a big one as well.
Where do you see the skilled trade industry, in the next 5 to 10 years?
It's kind of scary with the whole AI thing, but
Yeah.
I really don't think it's ever going to go anywhere because
I don't either.
you still have to have homes. Things still need to be maintained. I don't see it really going anywhere. Do I see it getting a little less? Yes, just because of the whole where we're going in life with technology
Yeah,
and everything else.
sure.
Do I think they're ever going to build a robot that can build a house? No. So I think we're safe.
Yeah, no,
there.
I would agree with you. And the other thing is the quality, attention to detail, the trust. I always say in my business, it's very similar in any business, including what you do. It's relationship built,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I don't see AI building relationships.
No.
They can do many things. I don't, I
I
don't
think
see
it'll
that.
make people mad more than not.
Exactly right. I called Chad. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I'll ask Chad. But Chad's not always right. So, well, listen. Where can people find you on the internet or on the via phone?
Yeah,
or-
we are on Facebook. We are on Google. We're having a little issue with our Google at the moment. We are on there. We're just trying to get our verification. It's very hard with Google because you can't talk to anyone.
know.
It's really been kind of it was really a bummer for me because we were on Google for about 14 years. Once I got on Google, everything just kind of went up from there. It became easier for me.
Yeah.
Jobs just kind of came in. People could find me. They could see me. They could read reviews. So not having it lately has made it difficult.
Yeah.
But I've been around long enough. I know,
You're mostly
plenty of
referral
people,
probably, right?
All referral. Well, not all, but very huge amount of referrals and lots of repeat customers.
Okay. And what's the best way to contact you phone number wise?
248-820-0644. You can find us on Facebook. It's Anything Construction LLC. You can also find us on Google, Anything Construction. My website's on there. I'd tell you the website, but I don't know the whole address of it. So
It's okay. Well, I got one last question, and we'll wrap up. But what's the most memorable project you've ever completed, or the biggest transformation you've seen, or taken the most pride in? Maybe it was helping a single mom, fix something, whatever that might.
There's
look like.
lots of those. Lots of those really stand out. The smiles on people's faces, like when we go from one dramatic to the next, is priceless. I've done some really large-scale jobs. I've done some really small-scale jobs, day jobs.
Sure.
I'd have to say the biggest one, and I won't put locations or anything like that on it, but it was one recently we did. The kitchen was really rough. The house was really rough. The lady had been in there for multiple generations. Mom passed, kind of inherited the house. It was really bad. And
We definitely needed you.
yeah, when we were done, the tears of joy from her, and just like,
that's what- yeah,
and
makes it-
you know, like I literally, and sometimes I shoot myself for saying things maybe I shouldn't, but when I went in there, I wouldn't even ate a sandwich. You know, when I left, I would have licked off the floor. You know, the lady was just beyond, and she's literally, like, in the past 2 months since we've been done, I've probably got 8 or 10 phone calls from people from her. She's like, do not use anyone else. Don't do it ever. You know?
See, that
So
those
that
are
one
referrals.
is, and that was just recent. I've been doing this like 16 years.
Wow, good
I
for
mean,
you.
I have some that stand out again, you know, whole house remodel, stuff like that, but that one really put the
that's
icing
what
on
makes
the
it all
cake.
worth it, right?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show tonight.
Appreciate you having me.
And anyone that is looking for any remodeling from A to Z, it's just like his name, anything construction. He can do just about anything. Justin, we appreciate you coming on tonight.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week, guys. Thanks.
Thanks. Have
Bye-bye.
a good one. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Simple, right?
Yeah.